welcome to Late Night Love. And here to help me hold it down tonight is Dr. LaWanda Hugh. How are you today?
Holding it down. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. You ready for the weekend?
I'm ready.
All right. So listen here. What time should I be ready for brunch this weekend?
12.
12?
Get some time to sleep in.
Okay.
Time to sleep in, get up, get cute.
All right. We're doing some avocado toast still?
Avocado toast all the way.
All right. So listen,
All the way.
All right. We're here to discuss Black love in all its forms for the next 2 hours. You'll hear some interesting points of view from voices on social media and guests live on tonight's show. Now, we want you in on tonight's conversation. The phone number right there to call, 310-369-0400. Let's hear what you think about tonight's topic. And there's some Fox Soul swag for you to win right there on the table. We got a hat. We got the bottle here. We got a backpack.
All the things.
Call in, contribute to the conversation. We'll send you some stuff just like that. So for one lucky caller tonight. Tonight we're talking to the fellas, and it might get a little deep. How do men heal?
Let's go deep, fellas. Let's go deep. Y'all ready?
You guys women love when men start talking about their traumas, and you like to hear us. I don't know. It brings sparks to you guys.
Your traumas, or do we just want to know you intimately? Sometimes that's trauma. Sometimes it's just knowing you.
I think you guys, it sparks you guys up when you hear us doing work and hearing about deep emotional insights into us and how we're working on that.
Women want to connect.
So we're talking to the fellas tonight, and it might get a little deep. How do men heal their traumas and get okay with doing the work that's necessary to create space for love? So how do we do that?
How do y'all do that? Y'all start with, you ready?
Therapy. Okay. So why do you think some men avoid doing inner work to improve their love lives? I have an answer to that.
I would love to hear it after
But you tell me.
I think that inner work is taboo. It's still taboo in our community, y'all. I do think within the Black community, having to go to therapy signals that people are weak. They feel like Black men are weak. They internalize that. They need help. They need support. And that's not masculine. That's not taking care of your woman, taking care of your community. So I think that there's still a lot of stigma that keeps Black men from their humanity. Like, I really don't think that it's weakness or any of those things. I think it's humanity. And I think that, as Bell Hooks says, the first, violent act of patriarchy for men is to cut them off from their emotionality. That's what happens.
I think that a lot of men don't know that they need to work and aren't aware that they need to work on anything. I think that they are going through life existing and that they don't understand that life could be better for them, that they are carrying traumas, and that they just think or just know that this is just how life is. And that to tell them, hey, you could feel better, you could live better, that you have characteristics of somebody who deals with maybe obsessive compulsive disorder, or I see some trauma inside of you. They don't even understand what that even means because they lack self-awareness of that.
What do you think that begins, though? Because I feel like women are always conditioned to believe that there is always a better version of them that exists. And so if there's a better version of them that exists, that means that there's therapy, there's help, there's support. For men, where does that begin in the messaging that suggests that you're always good? Because that's what I'm hearing. There's not a better version. There cannot be more to life. That suggests to me that, no, you already complete. Where does that begin?
I think that maybe some of us, when we're talking about Black men, may not have father figures in our lives to tell us that there is a better version of us and that there are tools and resources out there to seek out help. And so a lot of us are just figuring life out on our own. And so there is a sense of us, I don't need any help, or I got this, or
nobody modeled that.
Nobody modeled it, or you know what? I'm just going to try to figure it out on my own because I'm too embarrassed, or I've just been doing it on my own for so long that this is all I know. So if all I know is doing life by myself because I've never had anything given to me, because there's been no input or no, let's say I grew up in poverty, or that's the story of my life. Then why would you think I would go seek out help if that's all I know from a very young age?
Okay. So then that's fair. But then when somebody comes along and they start seeing you and they show a mirror to you and say, wow, here's a piece of you that needs this help, you need support. This could be different. You could do things differently. Then what happens then when you all resist that? Because I can understand not having a model. I can understand you like, this is what it's supposed to be. But then when someone comes along and says, hey, you do know that life could be better, then what happens that make you resist that?
Well, I think you have to, that mirror that you're putting up is what you see through your eyes. You got to understand that there's an inner picture that somebody's looking through in themselves that they see. So that mirror that you see that you're trying to reflect to me may not be the picture I see of myself in my brain.
And so there's a little bit of resistance.
So there's going to be resistance there because that's not how I see myself. You know, you are looking on the outside world through characteristics, maybe with a little bit more awareness, a little bit more wisdom, a little bit more tools at your disposal compared to an individual who's doing it on their own. And so there has to be a level of a person wanting to seek out help of something is wrong with me.
But is it always what's wrong? Here's the thing,
or not
though.
wrong, but I want to change.
Okay, here's what I think about that, though. Relationships are mirrors.
Yes.
Relationships show you, oh my God, you're really good at that, Don. You're really good at this thing that you do. Well, a lot of people are good at that. Oh wow, you're different from other people. Relationships are mirrors. So I think that what I'm hearing, though, sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, when it comes to men, when you're, at least in heterosexual relationships, when you're in a relationship with women, and they come along and they show you a mirror, in the same way that men show women mirrors, it's my experience that men are more likely to be like, I haven't seen that and I'm going to resist that versus, oh, wow, here comes an aspect of myself I haven't noticed yet.
I think also, too, is ego. I think that's a big thing also.
What is ego, though? When y'all say that, that's such a big word.
You're telling me something about myself. You're stinging me with something about myself that may or may not be true. I don't know. It may be a character flaw that I may or may not believe. Or let's say like you come to me and you're like, you got bad breath. And you're like, I don't know if I have bad breath, but you're like, you got bad breath.
But what about it hits your ego? Because I hear that ego word all the time. Is ego like the way I feel about myself and you're challenging the way I feel about myself?
There's that.
Okay.
There's that. You're telling me that there's something you can improve on when they may feel like I didn't know I needed to improve on something or something could be better about myself. Like I approach me with how can I be better? I'm always looking to be better. I don't think anybody is 100% better. I think you should always aspire to be a better human being because life is a marathon.
Right, nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, but some people feel I got this. There was a comedian friend of mine one time that I said, you should go seek therapy out, and he was like, that's for white people. And I told him that I told him that out of love. I was like, you can be so much better. He resistant to it, and I'm like, why would you think it's just for white people? But there was a resistance to it of like nothing's wrong with me. And I'm like, there's so much wrong with you.
So it feels like mirrors and reflections and feedback. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is the men's night tonight, so I want to tread lightly and I want to get some perspective. It feels like a personal attack rather than like a critique to help you be a better version. Yeah,
you got to be able when you are trying to, I guess, give feedback to an individual, you got to tread very lightly, and then also sometimes people got to want to receive the feedback.
That's part of the challenge. I feel like that's part of what makes the healing journey difficult. Like I don't think that sometimes when it comes to men, like I think, and my practice is 100% women. So women come to therapy in droves. Like something goes wrong in life, they're not doing well in how they want to do in relationships. They're not doing well in their careers. They're struggling with their friends. They're struggling with their family. They're like, ooh, what is wrong with me? They're coming to therapy. It's no ego. It's no attack. It's no affront. It's no, oh my God, something is wrong with me. I'm resisting it. But then I find when it comes to men, it is not that same type of energy.
The best way I can describe this is that you ever like see some of these young juvenile kids when they're like in trouble with the legal system or in the law, but they're like trying to put up a front to like not take responsibility
and
in the court. In the court system, and they're trying to be tough, and they're like, you know what I'm saying? But you can see right through it. Like, they're in this adult situation, but they're trying to put up this front like I'm big and bad. I don't care about you. But it really, as an adult, you're looking through it like he's just trying to be tough in an adult situation, but he's
And
really like scared.
And I often think, and he's only hurting himself.
Right.
Like you putting on this facade and you ego and you won't go do your work, but you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to. Oh, okay. Let's check this out. This creator talks about the trauma's origin story, which gets into a deep dive. Like, check it out.
When we are talking about hurt, so whether it's sadness, whether it's anger, you have to understand that a lot of people, most people, I would argue, like 90% of people are operating from a childlike stance. Why is that? Your brain, you have to understand how the brain works and how the brain works when traumatized, okay? The brain and how you are processing things emotionally, especially traumatic things. Infidelity is a traumatic experience. Betrayal is a traumatic experience. Your brain goes into survival mode. And so think about the very first time that you were traumatized, whether it was at the age of 5, whether it was at the age of 12, 21, whenever that first moment of trauma happened, that is typically where your emotional processing is stuck or in that stance if you did not do the work of healing that is typically accompanied with professional help, i.e. therapy. I think when we circle back to this concept of inner child, people only think about it from a joy perspective. People only think about it as like a hobby perspective and a creative perspective. But your inner child has also been traumatized. And so that is typically how you are processing your anger. That is typically how you are processing your grief. That's typically how you are processing your sadness, your trauma. And so you are stuck in this childlike stance when it comes to processing trauma.
Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up what we were just talking about.
That's definitely fair.
You know, I think also if therapy were to be introduced in more places where men work, school, and make it mandatory at a very younger age to get it more comfortable,
Normalized.
and normalized. And you know, even if at a child introduced in elementary school, high school, junior high school, even if it doesn't really work because it's kind of play therapy at a very young age, but just normalize going to go see a therapist so that when you get into adulthood, you've done it so much that it's in the back of your mind.
It's like second nature.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if it's therapy or if it's this like this cultivation of like emotional intelligence, right? Because therapy is not some place that you go when you are messed up, y'all. It's not a place that you go when you are wrong or ill. It's a place where you go to be a better version of yourself. But I've recognized that people believe that. But let's say even before we got there, if emotional intelligence was something that we taught, like we teach,
I love that.
You know, geometry, like we teach calculus, like we teach pre-algebra. If emotional intelligence, because that's really what we're getting at. Like therapy is a place to remediate the problems, or to her point in the clip, how we process things. If we had that early on curriculum, we would be better at processing, expressing, being vulnerable, being able to accept feedback and all the things. And then we may or may not need to take a deep dive.
I like that. Anthony D. Bryce breaks down men's standard answer.
You ever ask a man how he's doing and he says, "I'm good"? He's not. Sometimes it means he's surviving. Sometimes it means he doesn't have the energy to explain. Sometimes it means he doesn't think you really want the truth. Because there are a lot of men walking around with heavy hearts and no place to set them down. Because the last time he opened up, he was met with discomfort, with confusion or distance. So now he just says, "I'm good." And I get it. I know what it's like to hold it in because it feels like nobody knows what to do when you let it out. I know what it's like to be strong for everybody else and still feel like nobody sees you, and saying "I'm good" doesn't make you fake. It just means that you're still trying to function in a world that rarely checks on you for real. But brother, if that's you, I see you. You don't always need a solution. Sometimes you just need somebody to say, you matter, even when you're not okay. You're seen, even when you're silent. And you're not alone, even when it feels like it.
I like how we had to have old Negro hymn in the background of that.
Do you relate to that though?
I do. Sometimes, so yeah, we'll say we're good. Sometimes I'll say I'm good because I'm like, I don't know where to start. But then sometimes I don't feel like talking, and I'm just trying to rest my brain.
Okay. So you're kind of exhausted.
Yeah, sometimes I'm exhausted and from the amount of things that I have to do, and then sometimes that's just me trying to be at peace for a moment. Like for the last 5 years, I taking care of my mother, and I'm trying to kind of like allow that to kind of escape my brain. I just put my mother in assisted living, and that's been a big level of trauma on me and her, and as she's aging and getting older, and dealing with that with her health issues, and so that has kind of taken a lot of load off of me, and so trying to talk about that, or it's very exhausting. Even when she calls, I'm like, oh God, I don't even want to answer the phone. Sometimes I see her calling, I'm like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot just looking at the phone call.
I was listening to that, and I'm listening to you, and I was like, you know what? That makes me sad because I'm thinking, what would it be like to say, I'm just exhausted today. I had my mom, you don't even got to go into detail. Like, this is what I feel like with this. Like, I'm exhausted. I don't have a lot of capacity. I just want to be. I don't think that, for me, it makes me sad when I hear that black men don't feel like they can do that. You feel like you have to, like, put up this facade of, like, oh, I'm good, when really you exhausted because you just had to put your mom in assisted living, or you had to go through the nuances of that.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's just like, I don't know where to go. Or, like, I don't want to, because we also try to manage emotions, too. Like, I don't want to, like, say the wrong thing to you and, like, get into this weird thing about my life, and then and get into you're like, because people have weird perspectives also, and I may start a conversation with you that may piss you off or something like that. Like it's a weird thing when you're talking to people at the same time too. So it's just like, I'm good. I'm good is a simple thing of like, it shuts the conversation down. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to have you dig into questions.
Let me ask you this.
Hold on, let's say that for when we come back. Philanthropist, curator, and a producer, Teddy Rashaan is on Late Night Love. We'll see you right after the break.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
All right, welcome back to Late Night Love. Go to YouTube and your comments, add your comments on the chat, and not only will you get a chance to talk with us, one lucky caller will get some swag that you see here on the table. It is a Good Friday. And Dr. LaWanda, how important is emotional intelligence?
10 out of 10 is very important. I would argue that it's like probably right next to underneath attraction.
What's more? Oh, really? So emotional intelligence or six-pack of abs?
And I didn't say six-pack. I said attraction, and that could be six-pack. That could be something else. But I need to like what I'm looking at. I say that all the time. I want to like what I'm looking at. If I like what I'm looking at, then I will be interested in exploring if you have these other traits. And right underneath, if I like what I'm looking at, is emotional intelligence.
So six-pack of emotional intelligence is what you want.
A six-pack of emotional intelligence. Let's say that.
All right. Do we put enough value on it?
No, I think that times are changing. I was just talking to one of my good friends who's also my ex. I'm friends with like 95% of my exes, and I was saying like I really do think that times are shifting, and we're in the middle of it where people don't understand the importance, or we're starting to understand the importance of emotional intelligence over just what I look like, how much money I make, what kind of job I do, how much I can take care of you. Like, outside of that, the 95% of the time, I'm going to be with you. And I need you to be able to show up for me emotionally, support me, hear me, care for me. And I don't think we put enough emphasis on that.
I see competing narratives online. It's kind of like I want the six-figure guy, right? But then I also see I want like you to be emotionally intelligent.
I always ask who's introducing that narrative. I feel like, is it an emotionally immature person saying they want a six-figure person? Or is it a mature adult saying, that's cool, I want that. I want to be financially okay. But when we clear Maslow's hierarchy of just safety and care, I want to be able to be with a person who can hold me emotionally.
So how could this benefit like romantic relationships?
Like exponentially, Don. Are you serious? We can heal. We can talk. We can be in conflict. We can state what our needs
we can
are.
Be in conflict.
We can disagree. We can move through challenges. Emotional intelligence is fundamental to everything. It is the cornerstone.
I like what you said. We can be in conflict.
We can be in conflict.
Because that's a very important piece of working through a relationship, of being in conflict without necessarily...
Conflict is inevitable.
Yeah, it's inevitable, but being able to work through the conflict without destroying the relationship and coming out,
without you being volatile.
Yeah.
How can you be in conflict if you don't know how to express yourself, if you don't know how to say why you're mad without being explosive? Emotional intelligence is part of navigating conflict. It's a big piece of it.
I think that as young people, we don't necessarily know how to navigate conflict. I remember a couple of my young relationships, we would just yell at each other and get mad.
And scream and say, I ain't mean that, my bad. Like, you've already said it. You can't take back. Words do hurt.
You know what's sexy according to the Dream Lab podcast? Watch this clip. Check it out.
If you come to them with emotional intelligence.
Real emotional intelligence.
I ain't talking about that fake stuff, just trying to get the I ain't saying that. I'm talking about like you for real, like how you handle conflict and how you handle whatever conversation.
How you handle me, like all of that.
Listen, like it unlocks something.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just it with everybody, because we're in a world where everybody is so defensive. Everybody is always arguing and different things like that. So
to be understood in your relationship and to be understood in your home and in your marriage, because we already got to deal with all the outside, not being understood in the world, at work, these like. At least I know that when I come home, I have a partner that understands me, that hears me, that listens to me, that wants to know.
Because I can't expect them people to do what it is that I want them to do. That's the outside world. But at home, it's got to be some cohesiveness. So absolutely.
Too, it helps you to feel safe.
Yes, and you need that safety, that security.
And that's another reason why I do want to listen, because I don't want you to go to work and somebody else listen and make you feel safe.
Mighty God.
Within that 9 hours or 8 hours you at work and then you come home.
Talking about you got to work.
And I'm like, whoa, you too happy. Like, what's going on?
Right, now they don't want to talk to you about no problems. They didn't talk about the problems already.
Nothing. I'm okay now. No.
Now.
Why the hell are you okay now?
You ain't about to be okay.
I don't play that.
Guess it's bring your spouse to work day tomorrow.
Okay, absolutely. Okay. I'm packing everybody's lunch. Hey guys, I cooked for you all.
I made a third one. Take me to them.
Take me to them is wild.
Do women get jealous when men's nails are better than theirs?
That's what you heard in that clip?
That's what I was looking at. I was like, his nails are all...
His nails look good, but what I heard more was like when somebody is more emotionally available than me. My part, if somebody at work is more emotionally available.
That's the at-work wife or the at-work husband.
Work wife, work husband. If they're more emotionally available than me, then that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
That is a problem, and that does happen. I mean, there should be no term for the at-work wife. That shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
That really
but
should not be.
Why do you think it's a thing?
It's a thing because you develop this friendship and this bonding with this person who, I don't want to say it's trauma bonding, but like you're in the trenches with this person at work that you guys kind of get along. And maybe there's a movie with Seth Green, I forgot his name, but called Plutonic, where they're good friends, and it's like they almost should have been together because they're always on the phone together, but
they have more of a connection.
Yeah, they have more of a connection, but they're dating different people, they're marrying different people, they're having lives, but they're like two peas in a pod, you know. But it is weird that we have this work wife, work husband type situation when it really shouldn't exist.
Well, the question is why. Why does it exist?
I think what happens is that life gets really busy when you're at home. I mean, it gets very complicated when you get kids involved, when you get bills, you're gone for 8 hours, you're detaching from your home life, and then there's more work when you get home that you don't really get to connect to your partner. And
but that's not the case for all couples.
No, it isn't. But I think you have to be very intentional about how do we stay connected and attached and focused on us so that we don't lose our connection and our love.
And then let the work wife or husband sleep in. I think that's the thing. I think that people but all this goes into emotional intelligence. When you are able to be present, when you're able to disconnect from work, connect with your partner, put work aside, leave work at the door. Okay? Don't bring work in. Then you have space and time to be present with your partner. When you don't do that, when you start making those excuses, hear me out, then you are more likely to disconnect, do all the things you said, and then guess what creeps in? Opportunity.
This is what I love about millennials. Millennials have created so many boundaries with work. Do not contact me after 5 o'clock. I am not answering any emails after I leave here. They have placed so many boundaries with every aspect of their life to where they're like, I'm not doing anything.
We're healthier people.
I respect.
A healthier generation.
Look, my generation, I worked at home. I worked all the extra hours. There was no vacation because I was working on vacation.
So then it lent itself to more of the work wife, work husband because you spent more time there.
Yeah, well, I was career focused, and it was everything for me. Everything was career. So it was like even when I was on vacation, I was focused on the career, and so I should have. And that's probably my fault. But I was so focused on trying to rise through the ranks of like my radio career started with me in Los Angeles, but I also moved. I didn't have the opportunity to buy a mic from Guitar Center and start a podcast. I actually had to go work in a city, and I started in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then I moved to a smaller city to go get experience at a radio station. And so it's kind of work at the radio station, then run a radio station, and that was kind of how it was.
It's work focused. You know the song that's popping in my head? I can't think of the artist. What's that? Take care home, fellas, if you keep her first. Who's that?
I don't know.
You know that?
No.
Take care home. I don't think that your generation were taught how to. Who's that?
Who is
Take
it?
care of home.
Dave Hollister.
Dave Hollister. Take care of home.
Take care of home. No,
I don't think y'all take care of home.
No, and I think technology has helped a lot this younger generation be a little bit better at taking care of home. All right, listen up, men and women. Life in the Ash Lane is getting us together with this share. You might need to find the full clip online. Turn this one up.
We ask men to be emotionally available. We ask men to have emotional intelligence. We want men to share so that we can have that intimate connection. You claim to want partnership, but in a true partnership, you fill in the space where they may lack. How do you know where a man may lack if they never share what they're falling short from? These men have childhood trauma that you need to show patience, grace, and mercy for, just like you have childhood trauma that you want him to be understanding about. It is counterproductive for us to weaponize what our men share with us in confidence. Because call me crazy, but I'm just the type of woman that believes that I am here to inspire, encourage, and motivate my man to be the best version of him. I am here to encourage you and support you as you work through those things. I am here to help you and encourage you go through therapy. I am here to help you self-develop. A woman, a good woman, is going to push a good man into his greatness. Now, here's where I draw the line. You can only complain to me so many times without doing the work to fix it before I tell you I don't want to hear it no more. If you know that you and your mother do not have a good relationship and it is bothering you, and I'm encouraging you to go and have a conversation with her, I am encouraging you to find a therapist that can help you work through that, and you refuse, I don't want to hear nothing else about it. Because that, to me, is wanting to stay in the victim mindset. You want to stay with a problem when you could resolve it.
Somebody buy that woman a ring real quick and go marry her.
Want to stay in the victim mindset. What you think about that, Don?
So first of all, I love everything about her.
Okay.
That is an amazing woman. I hope she's somebody's wife.
Okay.
Right there. That is wife material, because everything that she's doing and saying is what a woman who should be doing. And a man should be doing the exact same thing. And a man shouldn't really, if she's doing that, you shouldn't be complaining. That level of
what you love about
affirmation, that level of cheerleading, that level of being there for you and pumping you up and that hyping you up. You know what I'm saying? Right there in your relationship is what both partners need to be doing for each other. And you should not be complaining. You should be working to fix things in your relationship or letting things go.
What do you think about when she says that? So she did say that. She says, like, I'm here, I'm cheering you on, I'm going to be your safe space. That's what I gathered from what she said. But she said, if that becomes a more of you just, getting stuck over and over and over again, and you're not doing any work, then I'm kind of like not into that. What do you think about that?
No, because it's like, well, I'm not going to keep repeating this cycle with you.
Like, are you going to get help or not?
Yeah, well, it's you're either going to fix the problem or get rid of the problem. But we're not going to keep going around in circles. And you want to vent. Like, I'm not your emotional punching bag or your emotional pillow to lay on over and over again when you want to complain about something.
You want to get stuck.
Yeah, I can't, because you're dumping whatever is bothering you on me on a consistent basis. And
then it starts to impact her.
Right, and I'm giving you solutions.
And you don't want the solution.
Right, so either you fix the problem, get rid of the problem, or stop talking to me about the problem. Like at the end of the day. Because I'm here about moving the relationship forward or fixing the issue. I'm about solutions. And that's me.
I don't know about how I feel about stop talking to me about the problem, because I think maybe that's like a communicative issue, because there's other ways. Like, if you
talk to a therapist about it, baby.
Or say that to your partner, like, babe, you've been saying this over and over again. You feel stuck. I don't know, like, don't talk to me, because that's kind of where the work wife and the work husband can come in.
Yeah, I just, because after a while, it becomes like you're interrupting my peace in my spirit with.
Yeah, so to me, so when you just said that, it reminded me of, like, what is the line between, and this is what I talk to my clients about, what's the line between supporting your partner and what's the line between you being, like, their emotional crutch?
Yeah.
I can be here to support you and hear you and try to lift you up and give you perspective, but then if you don't want to do anything with it, then I become a crutch. And I think that that's a very, very thin line.
Yeah, because you start affecting me, and, like, why would you want to start dumping emotional trauma upon me and start hurting me with the issues that you're going through?
Especially if you don't want to deal with it.
Right. And it's like, if you don't want to deal with it, and I'm trying to help you deal with it, like, why are you making your problem our problem when I'm trying to help you with your problem?
But, okay, it's back to our original. Is that an ego thing?
I don't think it's the ego thing. It's more so like, I'm trying to help us.
No, but if you don't want to deal with it, I hear that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The woman trying to help you, you come to me, right? Because men say this thing, I need my woman to be present, I need her to be supportive, I need her to do the things, I need to be able to come to her. You come to her. She give you the things. You don't want to do the things.
I think
It's that ego.
I think sometimes emotional problems are extremely hard to deal with. It may be that, let's say you have a problem with your mother. Trying to deal with a mother, like, let's say you and your mother have a very unhealthy relationship. How do you deal with that? I mean, there is a bond there that you may just have to cut off, and you may not be strong enough to cut that off.
I think that sometimes we think it's that cut off. It's kind of what we talk about in therapy. It's like black or white thinking, all or nothing. It's really not black or white. It's a lot of gray. I think that sometimes what I see and I feel, especially my women come to me and they talk to me about their partners not wanting to do this work. And it's not about, I want to cut it off. It's more about, are you willing to do the harder thing?
Well, the harder thing, I have a friend whose mother didn't treat him the way that he wanted to be treated, and he dealt with it for a very long time. And he didn't completely cut her off, but he stopped showing up frequently.
Boundaries.
He created a boundary, and then he wouldn't like totally like disappear, but he just removed himself, and he would go hang out with her. And I think she kind of like was a little bit more respectful and appreciative when he showed up. And so
sometimes that's the work, though.
Yeah.
It's those hard boundaries.
All right, Teddy Rashaan is here after the break. Meet you here for more Late Night Love in a bit.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
All right, welcome back to Late Night Love. Fellas, have you been doing the work? Notice a change in your relationship? What things have you done to upgrade your life? Give us a call, 310-369-0400. This guest is doing big things. His commitment and passion for the community are clear, from the arts to mentorship. This brother is making sure men know it's okay to take up space and leave something good in its place. His energy and love for people shine bright. Let's take a look at Teddy Rashaan.
Is hip-hop its own religion? Or is it a style of discipleship that points people toward faith? And kind of a follow-up to that, if it is its own religion, what is the theology of hip-hop culture? Is hip-hop in its nature prophetic?
On religion, I mean, I think it can be like a pathway, right? And particularly, again, in my context, in terms of Islam, like it's like the kinds of things you want to learn about, the kinds of sort of ways you want to resist, right? Like you come into hip hop, right? You hear a song, someone tells you something, right? And then it kind of leads you on this path of knowledge of self, right?
All right, we got to welcome back to Late Night Love. Teddy, how are you? First of all, how deep are you? Is hip hop a religion? Come on, man.
I love it, Teddy. I love the depth.
That is
I
deep.
love it.
Look, it has a theology, it has principles, right? And that's religion. So I'm excited.
It has a following. It has principles. It has a message.
What is it leading you towards? I like that.
It depends on the artist and it depends on the community. But I think it is leading. It's led a whole generation towards.
It has
things.
prophets.
Hello, somebody. It's led
Yeah,
a whole
prophets.
generation towards something. I love that.
Yeah.
So, as a man, how did you decide to pursue a career so closely tied to your creativity?
Ooh, I think I rest in call, right? That this was a call to something. If I had my way, I'd be doing some other things. In the grand scheme of it. But when I'm sitting with this element of call, right? That I feel that I am in purpose doing the work that I'm doing, both to try to heal the work and heal Black men and boys and brown men and boys, but also in this work of preservation and storytelling, and telling the story of a people who continue to reconstitute to it themselves in the face of all the things that we continue to face. So I think it's a call that re-energizes me consistently, and that calls me to this path to do this work.
Wow.
What do you think that call is? Talk to me a little bit more about that call.
You know, as the old folks would say, it's that still quiet voice that propels me or compels me into this work. I was on this line of I was a school teacher, and got this call to ministry. And in the beginning of this call, I initially thought that I had to sit in a pulpit, I had to do that work. And I didn't necessarily feel called to do that work, though I went down that road. I served in a local church. I served in 2 local churches in 2 different capacities, both as a youth pastor and as an executive. But I knew that the work that I was called to do, this creativeness, and I was called to do work amongst Black and brown men and boys, and do this cultural preservation work. And when we think about many of our Christian spaces, there's not a lot of Black men sitting in those spaces.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about this healing, as you all have been on this journey tonight, that this call to do this work led me to follow the one that I said that I was called to follow, which is out into the streets, out into community, into art spaces and culture spaces and film spaces, and to be in the spaces with the individuals that I've been called to.
I love that.
So, why do you think men hold themselves back from true connection?
I think it's layered. I don't think we are intentionally holding ourselves back, but I think we often don't know the other side of it. And so you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't have. You don't know that there's something missing. I think it's so layered because when we sit with, historically, as a historian, I'm always sitting with the impacts of transatlantic slave trade. I'm sitting with years of breeding of Black bodies, right? That we were only useful for our bodies. We come out of an institution, we come out of subjugation, we come out of enslavement. And then we are all collectively, both Black women and Black men, told that we have to make meaning now, right? That we got to go create institutions. We got to go stand up institutions. We got to go make life for ourselves outside of the confines of bondage. And so I don't think we ever had the time to really sit with the implications of slavery on both the Black woman and the Black man, right?
It's just like autopilot. We're just moving.
We keep moving, right? And we have to, right? That there's always anti-Blackness on the other horizon. And so we continue to move, but I don't know if we ever sat collectively as community and said, you know what, after 400 years of literally breeding my body, so it was not about love. It was not about always my feelings, right? Even if you look at old slave narratives, right? That when you look at the men and you look at the women, often the women are talking about how they were feeling in those moments. The men are recounting things. They're recounting the experiences. They're recounting the horrors of it. They're recounting how they were able to fix problems. But very rarely are they talking about it made me feel, right? I'm literally reading.
Kind of disconnected from that feeling.
We had to,
Yeah.
right? You see your children being sold, or you see your wife being raped, right?
yeah.
What do? You disassociate from your
That
body.
disconnection is so deep.
Yeah.
It's so deeply
Right?
embedded. Yeah.
It's so deeply embedded. And so I think we're sitting with all of these layers upon layers upon layers. And in the way that Black women have gone and created social networks, right, to heal yourselves consistently, from girls' trips to sororities to flower clubs. If you look at older generations, to all of these social things. Black men, though we created those spaces, we often didn't create the other elements needed. I say oftentimes Black men don't ask the how and the why question to one another enough. We ask the who, what, when, right? We're reporting. We want to know what happened. Who was it? What was happening? But what I find in the work that I do with Art Like Me, with really working with boys and men, using art as that neutral space for communication, when I start asking the why and the how, I get to the emotion, right? You're starting to fix something. You're starting to unlock something. Because I find that men want to talk. We want to talk. We gossip too.
You just need an invitation.
We need an invitation, right? And I don't know if all the spaces in which we enter are always safe spaces for them. Right. I literally was just sitting on the front porch in Martha's Vineyard with some folks. And I asked the question, are we ready for healed Black men? Right. Because all this work, and you're constantly looking at it online. We want more intelligent. We want more emotionally intelligent Black men. We want more of this. We want more of that. Are we really ready for Black men to start saying how they feel?
Yeah, that's a thing, because Black men, I think, get scared to come out and really say truly how they feel, because if we start really saying how we feel we may get criticized of how we think, of how maybe we want the world to be, of just how maybe we want to exist. It's just like, oh, you think like that, or you do this, or whatever, and it's like, well, that's how I want to be. These are my emotions, and it's like, if you want me to be honest with you, that's just what it is.
That's what it is, and I can't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, you want me to sugarcoat it, and then you're like, well, you're criticizing me for it.
Is that the real fear, though? Like, I guess I'm listening to you and Don, and I'm wondering, like, when you ask that question, is that the fear that when you express yourself, that people, I don't know who the people are. Is it the Black community? Is it Black women? Is it people in general are not ready or will be rejecting of how you feel?
I think it's a little bit of both, right? I think we also have to sit with some data, right? That Black men have the highest illiteracy rate of any demographic in this country. First, when we start talking about communication, we got to get to the basic level of, are we able to articulate exactly what we're feeling? Right? In a very practical way.
I think it's a big one.
Right?
That's
We
real.
can think it, we can mull on it, we can ruminate on it, right? But if we're not able to effectively communicate out of our mouths, then it's a no-go from the starter, right? And so that for me, some of this is fear around how we're going to be perceived, because we can sit with the feminization of therapy within Black male circles. We can sit with how communication has been feminized by Black men, and that's in a negative connotation. But I think from a very practical level, sometimes when you're talking to brothers, they just don't know how to communicate, right? There's a lack of social maturity. There's a lack of social emotional abilities there that go beyond just communication. We're talking about the education system, right?
When you say feminized, tell me more. I'm so curious. When you say therapy has been feminized, tell me more about that.
I think that, and it's not in a bad way. I go every week. To me, therapy is church, right? It is spiritually needed for me to live and wake up every day to go face the world, right? That is, as someone who served in a pastoral role, I would tell people all the time, I do soul work. I don't do mental, right? And so sometimes you need a space to go work that out regularly, right? I can help you with the soul work. We can journey with soul, but I don't do mental health work. That's not where my doctoral work is in, right? And so there is a way in which I think for many men, in the same ways as oftentimes religious spaces have been feminized, right? You don't overwhelmingly see Black men in Black churches, oftentimes because it's been a feminized space. It's been a space that women have overwhelmingly dominated.
They don't see themselves in that.
They don't see themselves. While they may be a leader, right? They are not the overwhelmingly amount of people sitting in the congregations. And so I think with therapy and not therapy alone, that we feminize things often that we don't understand or that we associate with women, right?
Oh, you feminize it in the sense that
We
that
do
doesn't
the work.
belong to us.
We do
That's
the work,
for women.
right?
Ah,
We do the work.
okay. I
We
see.
do that work, right? But that there are safe spaces that we will do it though. We'll go to the barbershop and talk to our barber, right? Because we don't feminize it because it's our space.
But are we getting deep in the barbershop?
I think sometimes with your barber, people can. I think in many ways, and there's so many amazing mental health programs that train barbers to handle
Okay,
that.
I was going to say, but are the barbers have the capacity to hold it?
Absolutely. In many spaces, the barber is the only place that a Black man outside of, if they go to a religious space, whether it's a mosque or a church, that they're going to talk to someone if they're not in regular therapy. We can be in male groups all day, and I see it all the time. Black women, something happened to you, your girls coming to rally. They will travel near and far to pick you up off the ground, right? And someone's going to come to make sure you're okay. But in Black male circles, we'll send a text. You all right, brother? You hanging in there? But that showing up, that going the extra mile, that doing the asking the how and the why can make us uncomfortable because it starts to get to emotions that we have deemed feminine, right? That we can do that. Whereas for brothers, bad habits. I tell brothers all the time, if something happens to you and you begin to ruminate on that thing in your mind and you're thinking about how you could have responded or how that made you feel and that hurt and you couldn't get that out and you're sitting with it for days and weeks, you need somebody to talk to about that. right? That's bothering you. We
Illegal.
can't move past that,
Yeah.
right? Because we have the highest incarceration rate, we have the highest illiteracy rate, we have the lowest life expectancy of any group in this country right now. And so, in many ways, our failure to communicate, our failure to seek safe space to get the things from here out of our mouths is literally killing us. We have the highest suicide rate. Right? That we have to figure out a way to communicate with one another. And I don't think that's Black women's problem.
Hello.
Right? That I think it is Black men's job to go do this. Black women get the benefit of our work. Our mothers, our sisters, our partners get the benefit of us doing our work. But this work is on Black men to do, right? And I ask brothers the question, are you tired yet? Right? Are you weary in the journey? Because if we've been walking and carrying these burdens and these loads for generations, because I'm carrying my daddy's load, right?
And your granddaddy.
Grandfather's road, right?
And his daddy.
And his daddy. So you got all of this living on your backs, right? And that you're not willing to put it down, right? And oftentimes the only places that we will put it down is barbershop, if we got a religious leader and a partner, right? Because that's about the safest place we'll feel that that we can put that guard down, right? It'll start coming down. But that's also not your partner job to do work that you need to go work, generational work.
So where does one go to learn the communication skills to articulate
and kind of get rid of these bad habits?
And get rid of the bad habits. Like where do you go?
I think you go to the same homeboys you text when you're talking about the game. Right. And that somebody has got to be willing to break the cycle. It only takes one brother to do it. Right. In my friend groups, I'm the brother a lot of times. Right. Now, other brothers join, but I'm going to ask the question, how you doing? How your soul doing? Like, you all right? You good? I'm going to show up.
Do
right?
you school the other brothers, though? Like, where does that brother get his marching orders?
Absolutely, we got to, and hold me accountable, right? That if I had a dear friend of mine who lost a job, I'm showing up. We going for a guy's trip. You need to heal from this thing that just happened to you, right? And I don't need anything in return. I am just making sure your soul is well, right? And that you can keep journeying in this. And my job and my hope and my prayer is that you'll do the same for another brother. Right?
We need a brotherhood. Basically.
Yeah, we need brotherhood.
We need brotherhood.
And that moves beyond, I love sports, right? I love the spaces that we've created for brotherhood, but it often doesn't come with deep conversation. It comes with the what and the who, the what, and not the how and the why, right? Sports is who's winning, like what's going on, but like, how is that making you feel that your team just lost?
But does that take intentionality though? Like, I'm really so curious. I love this conversation. I love this dialogue, but I'm like wondering, like, does that become some collective conversation of like, hey, we need to ask how each other are doing? Because I do feel like the norm is to just be around in the barbershop, kind of maybe talk about things maybe on the surface level. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not in a barbershop. But like, how do we bridge that gap? How do we break that habit of just keeping it surface, pretending everything is okay? All the things that you said, like keeping it not in our responsibility to do the work. Like, how do we get to this deeper level? To your point, it's not women's work. It's not Black women's work to do. It's Black men's work to do. But how do we get to that place?
I think it's a couple folds. I think one, when we are in partnership, I think space has to be offered for us to deal with this because we're behind Black women in this type of development. And so how do you give us space to process when you ask that question of how we're feeling? More often than not, we actually have an answer, but it's going to take a lot to get it from here to here. We're trying to figure out how not to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
We're trying to how to not like how to be delicate in it, because the thing we're not thinking about the nuancing and the tone. We just need to get it out. And so how do you create the space for that to happen? That's where I'm like, partners may need to go to therapy when you actually want a Black man to talk to you. Go find a neutral space and someone else outside of you that can create the space and foster that space. Because when it comes out of our mouth, it may not be sweet,
unpolished.
Well, this is how we were talking earlier when you asked how you doing, and I was saying earlier, like, I'm okay, but I don't want to trigger your conversation with you by saying something wrong.
Right. And I was saying, but it doesn't sound like you're okay. You're saying all the things that you're not okay. So why not say, hey, I'm not good, I don't want to talk. But I do think, to your point, it takes, like, that's the raw version.
Yeah.
But to his point, it's like, how do you get to that more polished version so you're not hurting your partner, but also creating that intimacy, but also articulating how you feel? I think those are 2 to 3 steps that I feel like a lot of Black men are missing.
Yeah, and we need it. And also I think in our friends groups that someone has to be willing to be vulnerable, right? And risk a toxic masculinity that
There we go. Oh, can we talk about that? Can we talk about toxic
because
masculinity,
that
please?
also keeps us out of being communicative with one another.
Teddy,
right?
can you hang with us?
Stick around, Teddy,
I got
please.
time. I got
Okay,
time.
listen. We'll get into toxic masculinity,
we gotta talk
which
about it, Teddy.
I think people just throw around.
Right. We want to get into the depths of it.
All right, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk more with Teddy when we come back from the break. More with Late Night Love coming up next.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick during the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love your mind.
All right, welcome back to Late Night Love. We are talking with a man that is, I guess, really deep for the room, Teddy Rashaan. Thank you so for hanging out with us. But this is just an amazing conversation. We want to talk about toxic masculinity. I guess that's a thing that gets thrown around with Black men, or men in general, I do want to say. What is toxic masculinity in regards to men? Is it our language?
That's a really good question.
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
I often think it is our default language. And again, I would be remiss if I didn't take us to the historical contexts of how that emerges for us, right? That it emerges out of white supremacy, right? That our masculinity was designed and constructed based on a white heteronormative system, right? That we wanted to, and for many reasons, align ourselves with what white men were doing.
Control, dominance.
All of those things, control, dominance, and not realizing that it wasn't liberatory for us, it never has been, and that we construct this hyper masculinity that involves like the hunter gatherer, like it has, the more we put it on, right, the stronger we are, the less feminine we feel, the less we give. It dictates.
Teddy, will you please pause right there? Because you just said, you preaching better than people saying amen. I got to say that. Will you really, really go in on, like, just give me 5 or 6 examples of hyper masculinity? Because I think people need to hear it plain and simple.
Yeah.
What is hyper masculinity?
Pause no homo, right? It grinds my gears to hear black men say that, right? Because what the hell does that mean?
You don't like the
right?
pause game with Cameron?
No, absolutely not. Your masculinity is that fragile that if I
that
tell
you
you
gotta give a disclaimer.
I want you, you got to put a disclaimer on it.
Okay.
Dude, like, why do we need that? We come from a people who, in certain parts of the continent, men hold hands up to show friendship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that we have been recycled in white supremacy in this country and literally spit out that we can't even hold hands with a homeboy, that there's no romantic anything to tell you I love you and I care for you. And I got to say, pause no homo. What is that? Like that? I'm literally trying to care for your soul. And I have to put a disclaimer there, right? So pause no homo is one for me. I hate that.
Okay.
Another one I would say with toxic masculinity and this hyper masculinity, and I think it needs to be important for black men to understand that masculinity is performance, right? We are performing when we show up in these ways, right? This is not natural to us. We are not, just because I come into a space and I'm more dominant and I am more presenting and my voice is deeper. That means that I'm more of a man, right? Even in this whole movement of alpha male and all of that other craziness, right? That's steeped in a toxic masculinity. It's steeped in an idea that we have to be a certain way to be seen as a man in this system. When manhood looks different for black men, it has always been on the spectrum. It has never been one way. And so to think that we come from a people who were matriarchal, right? We come from matriarchal societies before we meet white supremacy through the transatlantic slave trade. Many of us, we are living in a society where Queen Nzinga is in control. A woman is running us.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
And so to think that we feel because literally are trying to be white men with this adjacency to white men, that we would reduce our own people and our own women and ourselves to this false sense of manhood that has never saved us. It has never done anything for us, but took us to early graves. We continue to perpetuate it. We continue to want to hold on to it when it doesn't work for us. It worked for white men, but it doesn't work for us. It kills us.
And I don't even think it works for them.
It don't, but you gotta let them. Right, like that. I'm concerned about black folk. So like it is for me the very thing that keeps us from talking. It's the very thing that keeps us
not expressing,
express ourselves.
Being
it's
too
the
dominant.
thing that tells a boy that you can't cry. It's the very thing when athletes lose a game, they go cover their face, or they got to run to their mother's arms, or got to run in the back, or put a towel over their face.
They can't emote publicly.
Emoting, sis.
There we go. There we go.
So how do we evolve out of this?
I think we got to name the demon.
I was gonna say,
I'm a theologian.
He preaching.
Right?
I was gonna say, if we don't name it, what we gonna do?
You got to name it.
Let's
right?
name it. Let's name it.
Sis, right? That the first thing, and as a theologian, right? Jesus meets the demon and he says, "What is your name?" Right? Not for the sake of not knowing it, but for the sake of you got to name that thing in order to cast that thing out.
So we have to call these things out.
We have to name it, not expressing, not showing emotion, trying to suppress, trying to dominate. All those things are part of toxic masculinity. It doesn't come from our matriarchal culture. That's the name.
Culture, right? Like we could be men and still our manhood wasn't tied to how many women we sleep with. Our manhood wasn't tied to how much we conquer, how little we love on one another. It wasn't tied to any of those things. Now, were we all kumbaya on the continent? No, we were tribal people. We are still a tribal people.
We still hunting.
We still hunting, right? And also, it doesn't have to revolve around me saying, brother, I can't say, brother, I love you. And I really care that, as you were talking about earlier, that you are caring, you had to make a hard decision for your mother, right? And I know that as a black man who is the only child to his mother, that experience and what that means and how that makes you feel and all of those other things may be hard. And so I see you, I love you, I acknowledge that it may be hard. And if you need to talk about that with somebody, I'm literally only a phone call away. That is moving beyond toxic masculinity to say, brother, this is a safe space for you because I see you, right? I don't need nothing from you. And brothers, we got to put our guard. I don't need nothing from you. But what I do want to acknowledge is that you're hurting. right? And I can sense that. We know when one another is hurting, right? We choose to ignore it, but we can tell when it's happening because I can see you, right? I tell black men all the time, when we give a head nod, so much is in our head nod to one another. It's not just that I see you, it's also me responding that I know what it means to be a black man walking around these streets of America. And I know every day that you have to, as Lucille Clifton would say, every day, come celebrate me with that something tried to kill me, but has failed, right? So,
Okay, so here's the thing. I feel like I love the conversation in the sense that you give me so many nuanced answers, but I want you to make it, as they would say in church, make it plain.
Make it plain.
Make it simple so the people can hear it and run with it.
I got you.
Give me 4 simple ways we can make it plain, make it simple.
4 simple ways we can make it plain is when all of us have a black man in our life. Text him. Very simple. Text him, how you doing, brother? He's going to give you a 1 word, maybe a sentence, right? Keep asking the how and the why. Keep asking it, right? In the text message, oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, how does that make you feel? Go down the path.
Even if it feels awkward.
It's going to feel awkward.
Yeah, because you ain't even done it.
Right? You ain't done it, but growth happens in awkwardness, right? It happens in the uncomfortability. So keep asking the why and the how. So that's the one practical way.
Okay.
Another practical way for black men, particularly those who have children and are raising other black men and black boys, my first thing is to really begin to create a space for that to happen for your child. So every day when they get home from school, you should ask them how school made them feel. What happened in school? Why did you feel that way? Very practicalness.
The how and the why.
The how and the why, right? That is where black men should rest if we're talking about building lasting relationships, deep relationships, not just with one another, but also with black women. The how and the why, right? That if you can get to the how and the why, not the what, the how, that's important. Start there. But keep digging in the how and the why. So doing that with your friends and also with your children. I think the third step is finding you a therapist.
Oh, can you say it again?
That's the most important thing.
A therapist.
Can you find
therapy ain't magic. There's so many different things I want to shout out. Can I shout out some places?
Yes, please. Give it to us. Give us some resources.
Today. Psychologytoday.com. You can narrow it down for if you want a black man, what type of insurance you may have. If you want to talk to somebody older, younger, you can do a lot of different things to find the therapist you want. Better health for brothers who don't have insurance or they have high copays for health for therapy. Better Health does sliding scales. Go check them out. There's some other companies that do it as well.
Inclusive therapists.
Inclusive therapy, all of those different things, right? That you can find an individual that works. If the first person doesn't work, that doesn't mean you stop. You're shocked.
It's like dating.
It's like dating. You got to
find the right fit.
It is. It is.
I love it.
Find it. Right? And if they didn't work the first time, give them a second time. Dating sometimes is slow, right? And you're trying to open up just like they trying to learn you. So maybe go twice, right? And then if it doesn't work, keep going till you find it. So that's another thing. Secondly, I would say intentionality for brothers. If you got male friends in your life, I want you to plan a male outing within the next 2 weeks. I don't care if it's bowling. I don't care if it's just to go chill at the house and y'all smoking cigars or y'all drinking some wine, some cognac or whatever y'all doing. But cocktails.
Watching the game, football season started.
What black women have learned and what keeps them alive is that they check in with their homegirls regularly and they have girls' nights. They go to the hair salon. They go do everything to ensure that that part of them that we can't meet is met. Right? And so we have to begin to do the work for ourselves because we've put a lot of this on black women to do. And it's not their job to do. It's for you to go get that met yourself, right? Because you got homeboys. And in my relationship, it's always the conversation of, I can't be your everything. And we've been trained more often than not that we had moms, because we had all of those things, that they have to hold all of that for us. And while that's important in our lives and important for our development, it's also important that some black men hold you, because sometimes that ain't black women's job to hold you, right?
All right.
Like you need to go how you, that ain't mine. They don't even know what it means to be a black man. So how they holding you in something they can't expect? They have their right? And so we got to create the space for us to do that as well. So within the next 2 weeks, have a homeboy outing, right? And all y'all focus on is the how and the why, right? The how you're doing.
Teddy, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you, and what do you have coming up that you're working on? We can talk about real quick before we let you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on Instagram, Teddy Rashaan, or you can go on my website, www.teddyrashaan.com. I have a couple projects down the works, a docu-series that will explore masculinity, the visible man, black man. So it's a 6-part docu-series where I will be exploring all the things related to how Black men construct masculinity, both historically and contemporarily. I also have a 2 films on Black women and religious leadership coming out through my work at the Smithsonian. So Where She Leads, coming out next year, and Hush Harbors. And Art Like Me is a passion project that I started about a year ago, where we focus on Black and brown men and boys and emotional intelligence, and really looking at how do we develop that and change narratives. And we use visual art as a platform. So if you have a young person, a young Black male K through 12, that we give them limited edition art prints. Because 1, it's important for boys to see beauty on their walls and to see themselves reflected in the everyday. But 2, it's about economic development. Money moves in the art world, and I want our young boys to live and see art as an investment and a wealth building tool as well. So you can go to artlikeme.org and learn more about our program. We do print drops. They're free to the young boys, so we will ship them out to you. You can sign up for a print. But yeah, that's the work that I'm doing.
Well, listen, thank you for the therapy session tonight. We appreciate you.
You've been incredible. You have been incredible. Thank you for the work you do. Keep going.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Look, love Black folk. Love y'all. Thank you. And
love you too. All right, Teddy Rashaan, more Late Night Love right after the break.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in, because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Welcome back to Late Night Love, y'all. And I'm really curious, Dunn. I'm listening to him and this conversation, and I'm thinking, man, why do men have such an aversion to mental health and therapy or to love? What is that about?
I don't know. Teddy said that these spaces have been feminized, and I think that was a good point that he pointed out there. That's not for me. It's not maybe a male space. That brother was very, very deep in the conversation that we just had there. And I think that maybe men don't see themselves in these spaces to where that they can put themselves there and that's the place for them to go.
Do you think that that's the hesitation to pursue mental health? Like because they haven't seen versions of men pursuing mental health, so there's a hesitation
I think
there?
that's one thing. I think that there is the point of view of like, there's nothing wrong with me, so why do I need to go?
We've been taught to think that if something's wrong with me, I go pursue mental health.
Yeah, maybe.
Not if I'm trying to be better.
Maybe there needs to be a degree in barber/psychology to where you can get it.
Or we need to rebrand therapy. Therapy is not if something's wrong. Therapy is I'm trying to be better.
I'm with that too.
If I'm trying to be better, then I'm going to therapy.
Like my journey to therapy wasn't until like I had panic attacks and I was like, I need to seek help.
So that means it got bad though, Don.
But I always had issues with me since I was a little kid. I just didn't know what the issue. I as a kid, when I grew up in the projects, when I saw a police car, a knot used to grow like in my throat.
You associated that with because it was gonna be bad.
But I don't even know where that came from.
Yeah, did you see anybody be brutalized?
But it was normal though.
But see what I'm saying? That's not what I asked. Did you see people be brutalized?
That's
not normal. You begin to normalize it, but it wasn't normal.
I mean, gang violence in the 80s in Los Angeles, yes, it was a thing. It was around us, people being shot in gunshots and gang culture. Did I witness people getting beat up? Yeah. You know, I never saw people getting killed or anything, but we were very adjacent to it. You know, I lost a cousin who was a brother. He was killed, you know, but I didn't see it. I saw his body.
That's what we would call secondary trauma.
Yeah. You know, but
your body kept that score.
Yeah. So it's that went away, I guess, as I got older, you know, but like a lot of this trauma, you know, panic attacks.
You didn't know that this was a thing.
I didn't know it was just things
you just felt like this is normal. This is what people do. They get knots in their throat when they see, oh my goodness.
Or these feelings of helplessness of like you're in the hole and you're not being able to get out of it. And like, you know, these are panic attacks that nobody ever told me I was dealing with.
What I'm hearing? A lot of this, it was education, right? We didn't get education that this is not normal. This is what we would call like mental health symptoms. And so you begin to feel like this is part of everyday life. So I know, of course I don't need
this
no
is
help.
Just what it's like to be a human being and what you just go through in life and you just roll through it. I mean, my childhood was, I was in the foster care system in Los Angeles. So for like 3 or 4 years, you know, and so this is the good Department of Children's Services here in Los Angeles. You know, I'm pretty sure at some point I was diagnosed with this, but you know, when you get kicked out of there,
it doesn't follow you.
Nobody tells me about any of this stuff. So you know, you kind of just got to find out along the way about, you know, as I was trying to go get help, I went to the Department of Mental Health, and they were like, well, this is not for you. These are for people who have serious, more complicated mental issues.
Right, you got caught in that in between.
But they were like, you were in the system here from when you were in foster care, and they gave me some resources, and I went and found a therapist for that, which I ended up seeing. And that was even kind of weird because I'm like, how does the therapy thing work? You got to call them. The therapists are kind of weird to where you can't just show up and knock on the door. You got to call, make an appointment. They got to call you back. You know, I'm like, that's even a whole thing of like how to find a therapist.
Well, you know what I'm hearing though, Don, is like exposure. You know, like if you don't grow up, it's like your wellness checks for women is well women's. You know, if you don't grow up getting your blood work or your well women's, you don't think that that's part of everyday life. And if you don't do that, then you don't get to screen and figure out what's normal, what's not normal. Yeah. And so you happen to be in the system, which caught it, but then they dismissed it. So I feel like I kind of got an answer to a lot of a reason why a lot of black men are struggling.
Yeah. This creator gets candid and shares how he's been able to move towards his healing. Listen to this.
I feel like all black men need to go to therapy at least for at least a year. Go to therapy for at least a year and see how it changed your life. The stigmas behind mental health and going to see a therapist is so toxic, and it's rooted in toxic masculinity that it really has black men out here scared to get healed, to go get healing. You know what I'm saying? I've been in therapy for 10 years, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and for the first 5, like I done told numerous people this, for the first 5 years I was in therapy, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't open up. I didn't want to open up. I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want to relive stuff. I didn't want to talk about stuff. So my therapist was pretty much just doing case management. You know, hey, how you doing? You know, every session, how you doing? How was your week? Woo. There was no real healing until 2020. You know what I'm saying? When I really said I wanted to make a change, I wanted to be a better man for me, and then got into this intensive, you know, CBT program and cognitive behavioral therapy. Before it was called CPT, cognitive processing therapy. But man, that stuff changed my life, man. My therapist, he really worked with me. Like, he broke me down. Showed me my real self, you know, helped me learn how to be vulnerable, helped me learn how to, you know, see strength and what strength really is, and what, you know, get rid of all these toxic tropes and toxic mentalities, and, toxic ways and, things that society has deemed manly really ain't nothing but toxicity. And so like, it's a constant journey. You know what I'm saying? It's a constant healing journey, but you're finding yourself, you're learning more about yourself.
I do want to make a point. You can't go to therapy and not be honest.
You can't and not open up and be vulnerable. This man has done some work. Amana, I see you, bro. I see him. He has done some work. I can hear it.
I made it a point. Like anything I'm paying for at this stage in life,
you need a return on your investment.
I'm gonna sit at the front of the class. I'm gonna be as open and honest. I want my money's worth. I'm gonna ask every question. There's no stupid question, and I'm gonna share everything because
I love it.
Especially if you're paying cash for it, because I don't think the insurance aspect of therapy
always.
is not really good. A lot of therapists don't really mess with the insurance thing, right?
I don't.
Yeah, because it's like, and then the government doesn't really give you much of a kickback on that. I think you can.
You may get some of a reimbursement, maybe like 80%, 70%.
Does the health savings account work for therapy?
Some of them.
Some of them do. Okay.
Some of them.
All right. Let's see. Trell, the trainer, gives the men some things to stop doing and to get happy about.
Here's a list of things as black men we need to stop, like effective immediately. Stop this today. One, this bragging about using drugs and all this other to cope with traumas, and it gotta stop. I'm trying to figure out when was it ever cool to look like you on drugs. I seen the interview of the little dude. He was like, "I'm on more drugs than you can imagine." You look like it. You look terrible, bro. And not only that, it's affecting our community. The younger seeing it, they thinking it's cool and they following the trend. It's destroying our relationships with black women, specifically our romantic ones. Because you haven't healed your trauma, you take it out on another black woman. It's to the point that they don't even want to date us no more. I've been seeing endless videos of black women saying why they don't date black men no more. And cool, to each their own, but I understand where they're coming from. We got so much trauma that we need to heal from. Instead of trying to heal from it, we go to drugs and all this other. Number two, every time you see another black man, he is not your enemy, bro. Every time I see another young black dude, he mugging. He looking at what shoes I got. It's okay to speak, bro. I'm not your enemy. I love you. I'm with you. We together. As far as I'm concerned, the first thought shouldn't be like, let me see how tough he is. What hood he from? Nah, bro, it's all love. Like, let's normalize healthy interactions between us. You're dying at an alarming rate, bro. Number three, this bottle war shit. I don't know what the fuck happened. Got goofy. Now, I understand popping bottles in the club. You got some ladies with you. But the videos, it be all dudes. And then it be 40 of y'all at one table. You flexing in the club. And the reality is, your financial situation is not even up to par. You don't even got no investment account. You don't even got no life retirement account. You got bottles. When is it ever cool to do this? Before every time somebody point the camera at you, bro, you ain't gotta throw up a gang sign. Smile.
I like how he threw the gang sign.
I love this. These men are speaking life into me, one video at a time.
Yeah, I always make it a point to speak to black men, All right, listen. Good. Enjoying tonight's Late Night Love? Well, then you should come back right after the break.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And you interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
All right, welcome back to Late Night Love. Listen, join tonight's conversation. Leave a comment in the chat or call the number on the screen. We got swag for you to win tonight, and we want to give it away. 310-369-0400. Call the number on the screen. Does the man you love do well managing his emotional health? Does the man you love do well managing his emotional health? Do you admire the steps he's taken to do better? Tell us about it. Give us a call.
That's a great question. I would love to hear that.
So, Dr. LaWanda, how does taking responsibility for emotional health positively impact our relationships?
Do you have time? I mean, it improves intimacy. It improves connection. It improves, like, just life in general. Like, when you stop outsourcing what is an inside job, when you stop outsourcing what's an inside job.
When you say outsourcing, like, what does that mean?
Outsourcing means I'm responsible for learning how to process my emotions, figure out when I'm triggered, figure out how to cope, figure out when I feel like the little girl or the little boy in me is triggered. When you stop being like, that's your issue, done, that's your issue, partner. When you stop outsourcing that and you take responsibility, then you can actually heal. Like, I do think that a lot of times partners, and this could be men or women, feel like it is their partner's obligation to help them heal. It's not. It is your responsibility to do the work to heal. And when you own that, life gets better for not just you, but your relationship and your partner.
And I guess being honest with yourself that you need to heal.
You need to heal. Why is it somebody else's? We're not kids.
Now, what happens if somebody's telling you you have a problem but you don't believe it? Is there like a workbook you can be like?
If somebody tells you have a problem and you don't believe it, what happens? I would say, how many times do people have to tell you that for you not to believe it? That would be the real question.
So if multiple people are telling you you have the same problem, then maybe you should look into it.
What happens is that you probably should be by yourself.
Ooh.
Because you're not willing to do any work.
Okay. This TikToker says intimacy hits different. Do you agree? Check it out.
I know y'all like having hoes and with multiple people, but don't nothing compare to having one person who's loyal to you and you loyal to them. You realize that being romantic and showing genuine love never gets old. I don't know how that don't drain y'all running around dealing with so many different personalities all the time. Y'all better go get y'all somebody who give a about you and lock in, duck off. Don't worry about nothing. It might just be me, but I love intimacy, and there's too many things you cannot do with hoes. But there's unlimited amount of things that you can do with somebody who you actually love. There's absolutely no limit. Y'all set boundaries. It might be 3 to 5 to 7 boundaries, lines that you cannot cross. And then after that, have a field day. Don't get it confused. It hit different when you got one person you can go to for everything. I'm telling you, find you somebody and duck off. Tell them everything about you, do everything with them, and spend all your money on them. I'm telling you, that is the route to living a very harmonious life. You need one person to keep you locked in so you can keep elevating. All of these other energies and other personalities that you got to deal with ain't gonna do nothing but drain you. Lock in with somebody, man. I promise you, commitment feels good.
Isn't that the goal that everybody wants, though? One person, or do people just like jumping from person to person to person?
They want that person. I really wish I can't recall this Bell Hooks quote, but men, women, we want intimacy. We want
with
that.
one person.
With one person.
Okay.
With one person. But we have been so taught to the point of toxic masculinity, or even sometimes like hyper femininity. I think that we see some of this.
Hyper femininity.
Like, y'all done about to quote me. Like, hyper femininity, I do think that sometimes we go too hard.
Okay.
I don't need no man. I don't need this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people could potentially say Meg Thee Stallion goes that way. You know, sometimes Cardi B could go that way.
Like, I don't need you for anything.
I do think that sometimes we do that hyper, femininity in that regard. So I'll be fair in that. But I do think we want intimacy. We kind of get out this protector shield. We really want that intimacy with each other.
Yeah, I that's like, I think we need each other.
We need each other.
It's weird.
We're communal. We're collective.
I hear a lot of different voices on social media sometimes where it's like we don't need each other.
We need each other.
But I'm like, at our core, we were designed to be with each other. We've
always been a communal. Listen, y'all, we have always been a communal and a collectivist community. Anything outside of that, though, that doesn't belong to us. That's not our culture. We have always been communal, always been collective. When we can put these gender wars aside, I am throwing in the white tie, okay? When we can put these gender wars aside and get back to that, we will really see the fruit of what community can do for us.
All right, this clip from Robert Frazier reminds us it's okay to take a beat and get okay. Check this out.
Hey, bro, you good, man? All right, look, I just wanted to check on you this morning, man, and I wanted to tell you that it is okay not to be okay. You know, I get it. We're supposed to be tough. You know, man, we carry the weight of the world on our shoulders because it's expected. So I'm here to tell you, man, your mental health is more important than anything. And you don't have to do that by yourself. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to think less of you and the man that you are. In fact, to see a brother going through counseling, it actually shows your strength. So don't try to do it on your own. I've been there. When I was about 22 and married, the word counseling came up. Therapy? If we need to go to therapy, we don't need to be together. What would we go to counseling for? And it was the dumbest thing I ever said. To this day, the dumbest thing. Because I went to therapy at about 28. And I learned that those things that I thought made me the strong brother that I thought I was, it didn't. It did not. And even today, still at 55 years old, going to therapy, I'm discovering things about me. And it's okay to get that self-growth. It's okay to sit back and look at yourself and wonder or understand why you are a certain way. You know, you didn't have love as a kid, and you know, now when you get it, you know, you feel a certain way because it's gone. But you understand the root cause of all those things, whatever it is. Bro, it's okay to get some help, man. I'm here to tell you that.
That's a great giving you permission to be like, it's okay.
Give you permission to be okay. So I finally have found this quote. I want to share it with y'all because I think it really sums up what he said, what the clips have said, everything we've been talking about. And it comes from Bell Hooks.
Okay.
And she says, the first act of violence that patriarchy demands of males is not violence toward women. People think that. It's not that. Instead, patriarchy demands of all males that they engage in acts of psyche self-mutilation, meaning that they will kill off the emotional parts of themselves. If an individual is not successful in emotionally crippling himself, he can count on patriarchal men to enact rituals of power that will assault his self-esteem. Patriarchy demands the first act that men cut off these emotional parts of themselves.
Like walk it off, toughen up.
Strip yourself of humanity. Strip yourself of emotions. Strip yourself of any feminine. We all have a healthy combination, I've said this several shows ago, of feminine and masculine energy. Strip yourself of that. That's the first act of patriarchy. The brother who was on from the first segment was talking about the ways in which we have been whitewashed by white supremacy and things like that. We come from a communal, collectivist culture. This is not our stuff. To cut off these emotional parts of yourself. Strip yourself of that.
And they're cut off at a very young age.
At a very young age. That cripples you throughout young adulthood, your romantic relationships.
It stripped you of a piece of your identity.
That's the very first violent act of patriarchy. Then men begin to enact it against women.
So how do you get it back, though?
What did he say? Therapy? Well, first let's name it. You can't address what you don't name. You can't hear what you won't reveal is what Jay-Z says. So you got
to, because the question I wanted to ask, I ask you when we come back. Okay. More Late Night Love when we return.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher.
He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me?
Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that?
Ain't he alone? Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
All right, welcome back to Late Night Love. Dr. Luan, how far does a compliment or words of affirmation go for your spirit?
It goes really far. People want to hear. I think that that's a form of intimacy. One, it's a form of it's like a connection. Like you see me, you're complimenting me. It could tell me that you're in tune with your, emotions and all the things. So I think it goes pretty far.
Yeah. How does it feel? So when you hear it, you appreciate it. You feel that you feel supported and loved.
Yeah, that's another level. It's like, thank you for seeing me. And expressing that. You can see me and not express it, but when you express it, that's a different level.
I think everybody should do it in a genuine way.
Yeah,
I agree. Like everybody should hype you up. You know what I'm saying?
Hype you up.
Yeah, really though, we should all be cheerleaders of one another in a genuine way to kind of give us a little emotional boost throughout the day.
Yeah.
Because you never know what people are going through.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let me tell you about yourself
Yeah.
in such a great way.
When I feel it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In such
that.
a great way. Do men get those simple compliments and appreciate it? I don't think men get those simple compliments.
You don't think so?
I think I think sometimes we get, hey, handsome, but men we don't get compliments the way I think women get compliments. But I think women get more compliments based on your looks. I don't know if you get compliments based on your work.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I just had to cut a man because he won't compliment me on my work. He only compliments me on my beauty. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the conversation we're having here is it's amazing. I love your spirit when you come in here. It's always fun when we have such deep, great conversations on top of your beautiful. All right,
Thank you.
Everything
Thank
about
you
you is great.
And I really love your willingness. I love your inquisitiveness. I think that you are really trying to understand, and I appreciate that.
No, I love when we can deep dive into. I mean, it's what you do for a living, so that's one of the reasons I love it. But deep dive into conversations about love and relationships, and really kind of get into the nuance because it's really what it is. We were talking about. Before we went to the break, we were talking to Teddy earlier about tapping into what I thought was the feminine side of emotions. But in the comment that you just mentioned, the bell curve comment, men need to get more in touch with, it's not feminine.
It's just emotional.
It's emotional.
Yeah. Well, Bell Hooks was saying that one of the first violent acts of patriarchy is to convince men that being emotional or being expressive or getting in touch with how they feel is feminine, and therefore they should cut their side of them off.
But it's not feminine.
It's not.
Just
emotion. It's humanity.
It's humanity.
It's humanity. And I think that is part of the root. Is what's been coming up for me the whole show. It's like that's part of the root of why I think black men haven't done the work. See, it's okay for black women to be in touch with their feminine side, not so much, according to patriarchy, for black men.
Yeah, so that's very interesting because at a very young age, we're just taught to just
cut it off.
All right, Takia has a message for the fellas that may make you smile. Check it out.
So, hey, black man. I know that it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I just want to check in up on you. How we doing? How we feeling? Because I just want you to know that you matter. You're loved. Even when you don't feel like it, you are loved. You are cared for. You matter. We need you. Black women need you, baby. Stop equating your self-worth to your bank account. You are worthy. You are whole. You are complete. We love you, black man. okay? So don't allow society to tell you who to be. I want to ask you, when the last time you allowed yourself to cry and feel your feelings? Carrying the weight of the world. It's like instead of focusing on that number in your bank account so much because the world made you feel like you are unworthy just because you're broke, let's focus on the confidence. Money, love, confidence. So are we confident? Are we devoted to a purpose, to a vision, to a plan, to a goal? Are we consistent? Are we disciplined? Are we accountable? I need you in the throne next to me, black man. Okay? So I need you to love yourself, black man. Pour into yourself, black man. I definitely recommend reading the book, The Way of the Superior Man. Okay? Because I need you on the throne next to me, black man. So have a great day, black man.
I see more women like her, and I love the content creators like her that push out positive messages, although they do get a lot of backlash.
Really?
Because, well, they get called pick-me's, you know, because they're putting content out there, but I do
They're
appreciate
affirming.
that. Yeah, I do appreciate that. Sometimes hearing it makes a huge difference. Wallow 267 sends love to the fellas. Listen up.
Peace. Listen up, man. I just want to talk to y'all real quick, man. There is nothing feminine about a man talking about healing. There is nothing feminine about a man undergoing the healing process. There is nothing feminine about a man dealing with his emotions and his feelings. There is nothing feminine about that at all, as long as that man doesn't settle there. There is nothing feminine about you as a man going back into your past, resolving trauma and conflict from your past so that you can move forward in life and become a better man. I'm going to tell you what's feminine. I'm going to tell you what's not manly is when you suppress these feelings, when you don't deal with your emotions, when you don't deal with your feelings. You suppress them, you bury them deep, and then you end up lashing out on the people closest to you. You end up lashing out on the people around you that do not deserve it, all because you too cowardly to deal with your feelings and emotions. You too cowardly to resolve that trauma from your past. That's what's feminine. That's what's weak. That's what's soft. That's what makes you a coward. When you suppress that energy and you allow that energy to consume you, to eat you up and cause your health to deteriorate. There is nothing feminine about a man tapping into his past, resolving conflicts so that he can move forward in life and live a long, prosperous, healthy life.
All right. He was on the homies on that one. Let's go to Rain from Compton. Hi, Rain.
Hey, how are you? How's
girl.
my sister and my brother doing? I was just tapping in because, listening to the story about love and the conflicts that we have with our ethnicities and relationships and things of the sort. And, and I just had a conversation with my brother yesterday. After 22 years, him and his wife are kind of talking about divorcing. And as he, spoke with me about the not so good news, I chatted up with him a little bit and we talked about the fact that you and your wife, y'all not friends no more. Because both of y'all sneaking around, and I'm just saying, why do people get together, and you come together and then all of a sudden it becomes a territorial thing. That's my man, that's my woman, but what happened to the friendship and the relationship? People lose each other in their friendships and their relationships. And that's for man and woman. I mean, so I know we're talking about, the men and their needs. The women love their man and the men love their women, but you can't continue to love each other and hang in there if you lose the friendship. You gotta hang in there with the friendship.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a big one right there. Like, when does the friendship
I was
actually
going to ask
lose?
her that. Like, how do you think that we lose the friendship? Because I do think it's common, and I think it's based on a lot of what we talked about. But in your opinion, how do you think we lose that friendship?
And I've thought about it a lot with him, and in general, a lot of times you get in the relationship, and when the mates start doing the territorial thing, you did this. You did. It's always a you. When you do the you thing, you cause a person to back down from you. They lose their self. They lose their voice. That's my opinion. And I feel like when they stop speaking, when you stop talking, and you know what I'm saying, and you can't talk to your mate, especially if that mate is a little bit more dominant. And that's when the other person, people start sneaking, doing things they shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, in my opinion, that's how I feel like people lose the friendship, because they stop talking. One of them becomes a little bit more dominant than the other. Then, like, you know, like I expressed to, you know, my brother when I spoke to him, I said, he told me, yeah, when she gets back here, this is what I'm going to say, da-da-da. And when I listened to him and I was telling him, I said, you know, you shouldn't do that. I said, you putting her, when you do it like that, you're going to put her on defense.
Wow.
And so when that person becomes defensive, you know, they're going to come out the box and fight back. So therefore, you guys are not having a conversation. You're arguing, and you're pushing each other further away from each other. So, you know, everything you guys talk about in relationships should be based on we.
Yeah. Ray, we got to run, but listen, maybe encourage them to go to therapists and see if they can work this out, or at least do a conscious uncoupling through therapy.
There we go, conscious uncoupling.
Hey,
I like that.
Thanks for the call and thanks for watching. I appreciate you. More late night love when we come back from the break.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 9:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Done.
Yes.
What'd you learn from tonight's segments?
Well, I learned that we can't play the pause game anymore. Although I thought the pause, well, you know, pause, no homo. Although I thought that was stupid anyway.
Okay.
We need to stop feminizing emotions.
That's good. That's really good.
And men need to get in touch with their emotional side, and we need to learn how to articulate our speech better. We definitely need to learn how to talk to women, and so that our speech is not so heavy-handed. We don't want to talk to women like you guys are one of the homeboys.
Wow.
If we want you guys to remain soft, we must talk to you soft. Okay.
Wow. No notes.
Toxic masculinity is something that we need to learn how to identify.
Okay. Okay.
I forgot what did he say was toxic. Toxic was the no homo game. That was one of them.
It's like not emoting, not expressing emotions, like these really rigid ways in which men should behave is really toxic masculinity, and there's no room to get out of it.
We need to go see a therapist. We need to call one of your homeboys and check in on them. You know, make space for some a brotherly check-in, a brotherhood check-in. Maybe go take a charcuterie board to your friend's house and say, "Hey,
hello,
let's go.
Hello, Y'all
You know?
hear this? Do
All
y'all
right.
hear this? What else you got done? You on a roll.
Let's see here. What else we got? Maybe take some time for yourself.
Okay.
Do a mental health check-in on you. Maybe look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Am I doing all right?"
Ooh, look at yourself in the mirror because we talked earlier about the ego.
Yeah. And look at yourself and ask yourself.
Maybe check that ego. Would you add that?
Yeah, check
too?
your. Yeah, I mean, I think it's always good to do a self check-in of like. Take stock of yourself. Am I the person who I really want to be? And am I lacking in anywhere? Am I living up to myself? Am I hiding anything from myself? Am I in denial? Am I delulu? Am I delulu?
Y'all, Don this is 10. I have no note. This is 10 out of 10, Don.
Yeah, am I making it make sense?
10 out of 10.
And am I increasing my emotional intelligence?
Okay, and what would you say? This is my only question because this has been perfection. Chef's kiss.
Okay.
What would you say? What have you heard and what have you learned about what it means to increase your emotional intelligence?
Am I becoming more self-aware about the things that I do and the reasons why I do them? My impact on myself and the people in my spaces.
There you go. Am I taking responsibility
Am I
for
taking
it?
responsibility? Right. Am I leaving a good trail, a good energy around me?
Or am I just dropping baggage?
Yeah. Am I creating emotional baggage? That's another thing.
Let me find out this show impacted you though.
What? If you forget, I've been to therapy for a decade.
I'm just feeling like I can see that. I hear that. I hear it in your curiosity, your openness, your receptiveness. But I just feel like tonight made a significant impact.
Teddy Rashaan was amazing with he says black men do not know how to articulate things very clearly, given the fact that the educational aspect of their upbringing is not there. And I think that's one of the most profound things that I've heard. And that brother is so deep, and his level of articulation when it comes to explaining how black men are dealing with things.
You resonated with that.
Absolutely. And then also the feminization of emotions.
Ooh, the feminization of emotions.
Because that's what I wanted to say. Do we need to get in touch with our feminine side? But it's not really feminine side. It's just you need to get in touch with your emotional side.
Okay, before he said that, did you feel like being in touch with your emotions was a feminine thing until he said it?
I didn't know if I think emotions and then there's a feminine side, but I thought they may have been two different things.
Okay.
But we had a conversation. And it's just they're not really. There's no really masculine. There's just emotions.
And it's for masculine and feminine.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not really a thing. It's just their emotions, and you need to get in touch with them. And that you read that bell curve thing
hooks,
where it says men have been told to get rid of their emotions at a very young age.
Cut it off.
And so we're just living in this hard aspect of life.
And cutting yourselves off from love and all the feminine soft energy.
And you may not even know it. That's the biggest part that you may.
Ladies, gentlemen, queer people alike, Don has given y'all the blueprint.
Yeah, give me a call, and I charge $2.99 a minute. I'll take phone calls here. Nate Evans reminds us to keep going. Take a look at this.
This video is probably more for me than it is for you, but it felt very important to share this morning. Fellas, I know it's heavy right now. I know you're tired. You're doing your best to hold it all together when it feels like everything is just falling apart in your life. But hear me and hear me clear. This is not the end of your story. You may feel like giving up, but don't you dare quit on yourself. You've come too far. Not today, not now. You've literally made it through every dark season before this one, and you're still breathing. That means there's still purpose within you. And depression, what it does is, depression lies, man. It tells you that no one sees you, that no one would notice if you disappeared. But I see you. God sees you. And the world needs who you are. Not just what you do, but who you are when you're healing and when you're honest and when you're still here. So here's the thing. I need you to talk to somebody, text somebody, whatever you got to do. DM me if you need to, but don't suffer in silence. You are not a burden. You are a brother, and we need you alive. We need you healthy. We need you thriving. Remember this. Remember this. You are worthy, and you are not alone, unless you choose to be. So my hope is that you wouldn't allow yourself to stay alone. I love you. Peace.
Oh, look at that. I love that.
All these men have great beards. They're very greatly moisturized. That's what I'm seeing.
I hope
like,
this
wow.
show goes viral, and I hope that a lot of men see this and spread the love out there and start to heal from a lot of this conversation.
I think it can really heal our community, heal us, and heal our relationships.
Yeah, I listen. This millennial generation is doing more to push healing forward in the Black community than I've ever seen before. Healing, boundaries, sex, positive conversations.
Yeah, that's mutually reciprocal.
I appreciate the cannabis too.
We're about the cannabis too.
You know, why is this important to Gen X?
I think you all deserve it.
I'm happy to see the change. I think with Gen X, with Generation X, we grew up in an analog world, and we just grew up in a world. We grew up in a world with a set of rules that were already here,
and so you had to just go
exist,
with it.
And so to see, and it was just things were here, and this is how it was, and to see the millennial generation come
challenge
up,
it.
and just not only challenge it, but like, what is this piece of crap?
Challenge it and critique it.
Do
like,
all
what are we
these
doing?
old farts. You need to go retire. Goodbye, boomer. What's wrong with you?
We don't have that kind of energy, done. We do challenge. We're critical consumers. I will say that.
Yeah, well, you're like, you're like, get out of here with this crap. Why is this stuff in here?
Does this work? Let's keep it. If this doesn't work, let's throw it out.
Well, and you're like, and I'm like, we can do that? I'm like, I didn't know we could do that. I thought you're supposed to work 14 hours a day.
I love it.
I can ask for a raise? I thought I was going to get fired if I didn't ask for it.
Doesn't that really speak to how spiritually we are all connected and we're all here to continue to help each other?
Yeah,
Let's not fight. Let's not fight, y'all.
Yeah, and
not fight.
Being old can't be the reason not to heal and feel better. That's another thing also. I think that you're never too old to go to therapy, even if you're 60, 70, 80.
As long as you have breath in your body.
Absolutely. You're never too old to make a change and become a better version of you. I think it's another key takeaway from tonight's show is that you should always want to become a better version of you, and it's never too late to become a better version of you.
Done.
Yes.
I love this, Done. You have made my night. You have genuinely made. I'm serious. You have made my night. I'm not even being funny. Like I know that you are a man who believes in self-actualization, but like just hearing you and taking what the brother has said, like I'm really, really proud.
Well, I love psychology. I love I love how the mind works, and I love how like people's thought process works and healing and just the evolution of oneself. It's very interesting how people can get stuck in a musty brain, as one psychologist told me, and you can get cured from that. The last clip of the night is here in 2 minutes. Meet us here for the end of Late Night Love right after the break.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 10:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Oh, we've talked so much and had such great conversations. We're going to have to skip the clip because you know what? We're just good enough. The conversation was great enough.
We're still chewing on it. We're full.
Yeah, we're full
Actually.
with all this love here. So listen, I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Another week of late night love in the books. Dr. LaWanda, it was a pleasure having you here. Teddy Rashaan, that boy is deep. Anybody who can sit there and say is hip hop a religion?
Listen, y'all follow him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all follow him.
So he was tonight's guest, gave us a lot to think about, and thanks to you, the audience, for tuning in. So meet us here Monday for another great conversation. I'm Don Amici, and this has been Late Night Love. Don't forget the Listening Lounge is going to be coming up next here on Fox. So you're going to be doing anything this weekend other than brunch?
Brunch and resting. How
Brunch
about that?
and resting. Brunch, rest, champagne?
No champagne.
No
I'm trying to
champagne.
lay low.
Oh, okay. All right.
I got like 15 pounds to lose.
Oh, okay. I guess. All right. Listening. All right. I'm with you on that. All right. So listen, no champagne this weekend. Just brunch. We're going to kick it. Listening Lounge is up next. You guys be safe. My name's Don Amici. Bye.
Welcome to Fox Soul's The Listening Lounge, where you come to find your favorite new audiobooks that will leave you inspired and wanting more. This week, we're showcasing Bonica Wilson's Marriage Business, From Proposal to Prosperity, Building Your Dynasty the Fortune 500 Way. In this Amazon bestseller, Bonica uncovers the transformative power of purpose and alignment